don't know you, but I love you.
The craziest cabbies on television. Taxi, weeknights at 11:30 on Channel 2.
We interrupt these scheduled commercials for a live stream.
It's the same fact.
Well, welcome back. We're back at it. If you're new here and you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm building a little diorama, a little model of my dream shop. It's kind of going to be an interactive diorama that I'm building for my son so he can play with his little cars in 1/64 scale trucks and tractors and things. But anyway, that's what we're doing here. This is part 2. I'm gonna live stream this whole build. Maybe not every night, but so far this is the second night. And if you're watching this archived, you can skip ahead if you want. But I want to thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching. And you're on YouTube. You can comment. I'm watching the chat. I got a monitor that I can look at it just out of view here, so I might be looking up to see, and I see we got a viewer in there. Hey, what's up? Thank you for joining back in. Hope you enjoy this one. Support via Super Chat. Little $sign down by the little chat box down there on YouTube. You can donate as little as $1. Helps improve the internet connection. Helps me buy equipment to do this a lot more, but you never have to do that. Just watching, liking the video, subscribing, sharing it, telling your friends. More interaction in here helps me out, helps the algorithm. But anyway, I do this anyway, even if you didn't do all that. So I thank you for watching. So anyway, so if you weren't here watching last night, the base I got it painted. It's all dry now, so it's kind of ready to go. Did some sanding on sanding all these pieces and things, and put the window on. The windows on the outside. We're going to do the inside. We're going to paint the outside, and then I have some things to do on the inside. Oh, I got one other piece we need to glue on here. We're going to probably do that first. Let me change views here. That's another thing, is I can have this other tight shot. You can see down here, see a little easier, and actually maybe we'll do this, do that so you can see what I'm doing here up close and personal a little bit more. You don't necessarily need to see my face, but we're going to trim out the the big garage doors and everything here, and I ran out of pieces, but I have another one here, so we're gonna get that going. And I need my knife. Where did that go? It's over here. Okay, and I got some of my supplies. Anyway, thanks for joining in. If you're watching on Twitch or Mixer, say hello in the chat. I'm watching. I see we got got one of my buddies in. He's watching. He's over on Twitch, trying that out. And anyway, so we're doing a multi-platform stream here. So wherever you're watching, I thank you for watching and joining in. Let's see, I need a little to do this with, but again. We're just working along, kind of making this up as I go along. I mean, I kind of have it in my head, the design I want to go with, but probably going to change, I might change my mind along the way, but all right, let's get that going there. All right. Oh, welcome. Thank you. And thanks for the sparks over there on Mixer there. That always kind of helps out. Let's see. Am I blowing out the audio a little bit? I'm watching my monitor. No, it looks like it's pretty good. But just let me know if I'm blowing out the audio or not. But welcome back, Kevin. You've been looking forward to this all day. Okay, well, like I said, I'm flattered. I'm flattered by that comment, but I'm also like wondering, if this is riveting content and something you set your clock for, what does that say? What does that say about me? If this is the best part of your day? I gotta imagine there's better things to watch, but people seem to like it, and I do appreciate it. I'm joking. I'm joking. I really appreciate it, and appreciate the view. And if you were doing it, well, actually, let me take that back. If you were doing it, I'd be watching your stream. But I do that. I do watch other people's streams, and I do watch some of the big. There we go. How that look there. Okay. We'll have to let that sort of set up before we can start painting that. So I'll put that one off to the side here, out of my way. And you're right back. I got to get a paper towel here. It's off camera. Sorry, but no, I enjoy that. But when I choose to watch live streams or live builds, or just live streams, I should say, I tend to try to find the smaller guys, underdogs. They're the ones that need the most support, and I put myself in that category too, because I'm not. Well, some people might think. Let's see. I ticked over 24,000 subscribers. Some people might think that that's a lot. It is not, and I can use all the help I can get. But I do realize I've been on this platform a long time. I've had a few advantages just from being a little bit of an OG. Some of my my channel maybe gets a little bit of a, well, it's been grandfathered in, shall we say, to some certain perks and stuff that that if you were starting today, it would be a lot harder to do. So I feel fortunate that I was actually kind of an early adopter on this platform. And so that's why when I watch other people, I try to choose to watch more smaller channels, smaller creators, and give them a like, give them a view, because I know how kind of tough it is to even get a third of what I've been able to achieve. And I know big YouTubers kind of say that too, but everybody had to start with 0 subscribers or 0 viewers and all that. But there can be, to a certain extent, in some respects, a little bit of pay to play with some things. It just, not that it's necessarily pay for the views or the viewers, but you could spend a little bit of money on like advertising, some Google ads for your channel, because I do see that, but little guys, little hobbyists like me and a couple of the other folks who view my stuff, they're not going to do that. A, they don't have the means, and then B, it's not they're not trying to make it a job. And honestly, that's, speaking of that, okay, as you're watching here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yeah, you can kind of see the glare. So we put a little bit of I put some quote unquote glass in there while we're talking here. But I'm also kind of just talking about this kind of stuff for the benefit of one of my viewers, Skull Crusher. He's a longtime friend of mine, kind of new to, well, I shouldn't say new to the online world, but new to putting himself out there, streaming and stuff a little bit himself. And I'm proud of him for doing that, but also I want to, I'm kind of, this is the things I think about and I try to do, and I mean, I maybe take it a little bit more serious than maybe the average hobbyist, but then I don't take it as serious. Just putting a little bit of glue in here, if you guys are wondering. I don't take it as serious as some of the other channels that I've noticed kind of come up in the ranks. And for example, I had a viewer last night that his wife does a really nice stream, and started from nothing. I don't think I was an inspiration or nothing, but I mean we were kind of internet friends, and he kind of got into this, and they've been taking it, like I said, more serious than I do, and they make good content. They make a great team. She's the on-air personality. He does all the technical behind the camera, and honestly, that would make it a lot easier if I had someone behind. If I had somebody behind the camera, but I'm a one-man show. That's why change to the wide shot here. My PC's right over here. I'm watching my encoder go. I got folks up on a monitor just out of frame, so I can kind of look up. Normally, I would have it just past the camera, so I could always be facing the camera. That's what you're supposed to do. Present to your audience and make them feel like you're talking direct to them. But I am. I am. So I do ramble a little bit, and that's just. These are the conversations I have in my head when I'm working alone sometimes. Yeah, so I appreciate all the viewing, and that's why I try to encourage others, and then encourage by just viewing, and I get in and I comment on their stuff, and when I can, we're all human. I have a regular job, and I don't mind, some people, don't want to know the back end stuff, and that's fine. But I like to have some transparency, because I think the viewer, unlike TV or to a lesser extent, like Netflix, you can't really interact with the talent that you're watching. Well, that's what I like about YouTube and some various other sites, is you can talk direct to the audience here. Let's see what I'm doing here. So, anyway, thanks for joining in, and thanks for Skull. You're giving me a view on all three platforms. That's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I guess another thing too is, I'm a little. I also doing this just because, partially just because not everybody else does it. I was always kind of one of those that like to do things a little differently, or just do things that most normal people don't do. And most people are consumers of media. Well, I like to create that media. And the way I view it is I'm giving back to the community, whether it be in my case, I like to do the how-to, and this could be considered a little bit of a, well, not how-to, it's more how it happened, kind of vibe here. But that's I like to be a creator as well as a consumer, and most people are just consumers, and I like to be able to say I contribute to this community of YouTube or online making, the Web 2.0 type of thing, which actually that's a very dated term, but I think you guys know what I mean. I mean, if you're on social media, in a way you're creating user-generated content. It's just I want to create content for consumption, and it's very, this is very niche. I can't believe that I have as many people that do watch my stuff. I thought about pulling back the curtain and showing some of the analytics, but there's some things I'd like to keep kind of a little more private that way. But I will say this, at any given time, when I look at my real-time stats, it's I get about 1,000 views an hour or so across my entire channel, and so that's my and most of those are heavily my heavy how-to and very informative videos. So I'm thankful for that. And got some people. I got some new followers over on Mixer. Thanks for following SC Gators. Join in the chat if you would. Thank you very much. And Kevin, you turn wrenches for a living, and that's pretty cool. If you knew me growing up and getting into high school, you would have thought that is what my career choice would be. And I thought about it, but and maybe you can probably and maybe you can appreciate this statement, but I didn't get into turning wrenches as a career or a profession, mostly because that needs to stay. Okay, put these over here. We're going to start painting these now. But I didn't do this as a profession, turn wrenches, because I knew even kind of early on, or I figured out early on that I probably would eventually get burned out on working on other people's junk. So that's and then other people's junk, and then I wouldn't want to come home and then work on and then have to work on my own junk. I'd rather do something totally out there and then use doing this or working on something be my release from my regular day job. But and I enjoy it. I enjoy my day job, but it is, or career I should say. I've been at it for 15 years. So and it's weird to think of it, but I've finally come to the realization just recently that that some people actually look up to me and consider me somewhat of a and kind of an expert in what I do, and I don't consider myself one. I just consider myself someone who can solve some problems, find solutions, creative solutions, and and I guess I didn't realize it. I have actually been doing that. Just it was never, I guess, maybe formally recognized. So I still don't totally believe it, but I've again apparently and not, kind of humble brag here, I guess, but I can go to certain circles in certain places. People, it's weird that people know my name. They may not recognize me, as in they've never seen me, but they know me by name, and some people I've never actually met them. So it's humbling that way, and I, like I said, it's surreal because I don't really consider myself. I consider myself more of a generalist, and I don't really consider myself an expert. There's lots of people way smarter than me, so that's why it's kind of odd to me. But I have fun, and I have fun with what I do, and I enjoy it, and but it isn't something like I shouldn't say. I do dream about it at times. So maybe I get myself a little too into my work, my regular work. That's why this is just pure fun, and any monetization or anything I make off of this just pure bonus. But I was doing this before. I could make any kind of money on here, and like I said, I don't do a very good job of it because I could be making more or pulling in more if I actually worked at this, but I'm more about doing the build than everything else. I mean, I do enjoy the back end stuff too, and making these streams and videos as professional as I can, given my limitations on time and 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 money, because it's not cheap to do. I mean, it's not super expensive, but it's not cheap to do it even at the level I am, and I mean, I just spent. You guys follow me. You know, I spent. You know, I just which isn't really very expensive, but you know, I spent like $800 on a new camera. You know, that can shoot in 4K and and better just all it can shoot in 4K, and it's just an all around better camera, better image quality, better um, well, the mic is better sound. I can better lenses, just more versatile for what I'm trying to do here. So anyway, what I'm doing in painting, I decided to choose this color. I decided I'm going to do that, and then we're going to have the window trim, door trim in blue. So again, but you know what? Like I said, I can talk about myself all day, but if there's anybody else watching, joining in there, you know, tell me what you do. I see somebody again turns wrenches for a living. Obviously, you must enjoy it, but is it what you always set out to do, or did you kind of find it later? You know, I'm kind of speaking to one viewer here that's been chatting, but you know, they always say, you know, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. Well, you know, I like what I do, but I wouldn't say I don't work then, because I'm not, and I wouldn't want to do. Going off topic again, I wouldn't want to do this YouTube. Well, I like doing this. I wouldn't want to do it for a living. It would take the fun out of it. So that's part of why I I can say it's like, well, I don't I'm not doing this as optimally, I guess, is maybe the term as as I could, you know, optimization to do it as a living. I'd have to put in a lot more work, and actually I'd have to put in a lot more work than a typical. It's 40-hour. I've heard, you know, the top YouTubers that do it full time. You know, it's an eight. They say it can be up to an 80-hour work week, and because of the way the internet is, real time, all that jazz is a lot of them, especially like the ones that are more topic oriented, you know, feel like they can't take a break, because you take that break, YouTube says, "Oh, you're not producing any content. Well, we'll just quit recommending you." So I don't ever want to be in that position. So that's why, you know what, I do these when I do them, and and just keep it to that. I mean, yes, they're so fun. It's like I'm already looking towards the next one. If that's going to be tomorrow night, that's tomorrow night. It's going to be um, the next day, or maybe the weekend or something. But I like to, when I start, I don't like to start a project if I know I can't, um, like project like this, specifically like a live project where you guys are joining in and you're going to be waiting on it, and you know, everybody likes to binge watch and everything. You know, you don't want to wait 2 months to see this thing finish. So well, I might not do it bam 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 bam. I'm going to get this kind of done, you know, within probably a week's time, or that would be the goal, you know, unless, like I said, family emergency or something comes up, or whatever, illness, you know, kind of thing. um, but that's why I would never want to do this full time. It would just take the fun out of it. I have fun just doing it like this, pretending I'm some sort of professional streamer here, which I'm not. You know, fake it till you make it, I guess. But um, I like it because, you know what, the average Joe walking down the street that you pass by is not doing this, and I like to be able to say I do this. You know, it's kind of a unique character trait, I guess. And there's tons of people out there like me, and that's what the beauty of the internet is, you know, when I grew up, you know, there wasn't this sort of thing. I mean, I was I was making videos to show, friends and family, mostly family, but that's all the farther those VHS or, well, in a lot of cases, the actual film, 8mm film, that they never went farther than my own living room, as far as viewership. So when this came along, just the community aspect, finding like-minded people that can get excited about it, is what intrigues me, and that's why I want to be a part of it. I don't have to be the best at it, as a matter, because I'm not. I like to do it to be part of this creator community, and it's a challenge, I guess, too. Is it's a challenges myself a little bit. Okay, I don't like that I got brush strokes in it, but that's all right. I'm not going for an uber realistic model here, but all right. Got anybody new in the chat? Why don't you hop on in or say hello? Because I just get to rambling here, but I'm just kind of painting, so not much to say. We're going to get to some fun parts after the painting's done. We're going to get to choose the wallpaper per se, or what some of the interior finishes are going to look like for this. So, but thought I'd go with this cream color. I was going to go with maybe a solid, but I thought, well, let's do a light color, and we'll do accents on the trim. And I'll probably trim out around the little walk-through doors here, but I haven't decided what I'm going to use. Probably some very narrow strip wood, but it's going to have to be very narrow to look within scale. So, one thing I've talked about before is I like to retro game. Again, my friend does some modern gaming, and that's fun to watch, but I don't think I could get into it. Again, just don't have time. Kind of talked about that, but I do like to bust out the retro games because they're quick. I maybe have 10 minutes, 10 minutes to kill, or I'll budget 10 minutes, 10, 20 minutes a time to kill, whereas more the modern games, not all of them are this way, I know that, but, some of them it's like, well, to really progress, you kind of got to devote, 30 to an hour, 30 minutes to an hour amount of time to them to really, otherwise it's like you don't get anywhere in them in that short period of time. I mean, doing this, I got to devote, at least an hour time. Yeah. Over on Mixer, yeah, that Sparks. Yeah, if you've been noticing, I've been sending you a bunch of those, and the more I watch, the more I level up. And the next level up, which I'm almost there, level 55. I'm talking about on Mixer, folks. So if you're not watching over there, you don't know what that is. But when I level up, I'm not gonna tell you what it is. But when I get to level 55, that's gonna be a neat one. So be watching out for that. I'll give you. I'll be sending some of those sparks your way. And also, if you look, if you scroll down on the sparks, there's these like big, massive spark presents or whatever you want to call it. I've given you a few of those, like that are like 4,000, 10,000 sparks. They're kind of weird. For being Microsoft, it's very, very odd, some of the choices they made with that. Like the one it's 100 sparks or whatever. It just says GG. I don't know what that's supposed to, other than what, just good going or something. I don't know. But and for those that aren't over on Mixer, okay, this is Getting dry. Okay, well, we'll let those dry. I do have a hair dryer that I might bust out just to speed some of this up here. But I won't bust that up if I don't have to, because that'll make a lot of noise for you guys, especially headphone users. I don't like to do that. So, okay, and that's glued down, so we can do that. Then we'll yeah, actually, Skull Crusher, Chris, I I almost wonder if sparks, if they'll help. They help exposure if they see you're receiving a lot of sparks. If it helps push you up in sort of the results, I just don't know. I kind of doubt it the way it seems like Mixer, how you find channels. Just seems like they just show, by number of viewers. And when you're on, um, there's only ever like one or maybe two people ahead of you. So, I mean, if you're searching for that particular game, Farming Simulator, so yeah, well, GG, good game. Okay, see, that's how out of touch I am with all these young whippersnappers on these platforms. That probably somebody probably just gave me the L loser kind of sign. I don't know. Is that still in? That's still a thing? Actually, funny thing made me think of it. I'm getting so old. I we occasionally watch Wheel of Fortune, and dang, Pat Sajak is just he's dropping the dad jokes all the time on that show. It's almost, at times it's almost cringy. I used a better quality paint on this. It wouldn't be as, see the brush. Well, I guess if I thinned it too, I didn't thin it, but I just wanted to try to have one coat coverage. So we'll see. Anybody out on YouTube or anything? Okay, so they have a emite for the L. I would. Oh, an emote is probably what you're saying. Okay, probably. Um, I guess I would. I wouldn't doubt that. Fortnite's for the kiddies, I guess. Although it looks fun enough. I mean, that just never was truly my my type of game. Um, Alrighty, let's see. Let's just put that down here. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done with those. Um, Well, I tell you what, these are dry enough that I can do the blue around the windows. So I guess I still need that here, but we're gonna change brushes. All right, I gotta find my. I think I'll do. I think a dark blue. That'll help hide the crimes a lot better. The lighter colors. Let's see, got some brushes here. Oh, look at that. They even have a little zipper thing. Huh. Let's see, let's use this brush. These brushes are like $2, but they're actually not too bad, so alrighty. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfecto. Let's see how this is gonna look here. Yeah, it's gonna. Actually, that's a little bit opaque. I'm gonna have to definitely I have to do 2 coats on that one. Here. So you think. Yeah, GoldenEye. Yeah. Yeah, not like I said, that was fun, and I can see how it'd be fun, especially some sort of team play, um, as long as folks aren't being because we got to have this kid friendly jerks to each other. But yeah, but to just casual unwind type play, not not be my first genre of game. I would choose, I guess, and maybe that's what I'm trying to say here. So there we go. Not too bad. I'm gonna have to um, go back and go over that, but we'll let her dry, and we'll force dry this here. Let's see. Get this close so you guys can watch what I'm doing here. This pigment is, yeah, these cheap acrylics. They're fine from some things, but I don't want to waste my good acrylics, my model acrylics and enamels for this type of thing. Save that for when I build another model kit, and that's something I've been wanting to do. I just have to get a little inspired. Oh, but I am inspired to make another diorama, and that's another type of diorama, and I guess I can talk a little bit about that. My son blurted out he wanted a model. He used these words. He wanted a model with a culvert, a tree, and a car wrecked into the tree. So, and at first I was kind of taken aback, like, geez, how did you put all that together, did you mean for all that to come out? And then I think it's like, well, actually, that might be kind of a neat little scene. So, I got to get some supplies for that because he wants water and stuff that goes through the culvert and whatnot. So I got to get some resin on order to do that. So that won't be anytime soon, but that will probably be one that I'm going to live stream. When I get around to doing that. Yeah, Fortnite, I guess, I don't know. I guess maybe it's because on YouTube, Fortnite's kind of like a, like 13, 14. It's known as like only 13, 14-year-olds play that game. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's kind of a joke meme. But that, like I said, doesn't mean it's no good. Like I said, I can't judge on it. Maybe that's the point. Maybe the meme is mostly that the kids think they're all tough and everything when they play that game or whatever. I guess maybe because it's not as is it not as violent or something? Because there was a deal about YouTube. Well, violent games they can't show on here. You can't monetize them and all that. So all the gamers, game streamers, reviewers, all that were all up in arms because I won't be able to monetize my content. I can't monetize my Call of Duty and GTA and all that stuff. Which I know that's not what you're doing, but anyway. And I don't know, maybe it's just all the commercialization around it. So maybe that's what's getting it. It's too mainstream, so all the hardcores aren't allowed to like it. Maybe that's more what it is. Hardcore gamers are like, it's too mainstream now, so it ruined it. Maybe that's what it is, and I'm just picking up on that vibe. and then I have a lower opinion of it, I guess, maybe. But I've never played it, so I can't, like I said, I can't totally judge. I'm just going off of kind of what other people say about it. Rid of that. Okay. Those can dry. Let's see. We got to do the around the. Now I have seen like people will do compilations or whatever of like Fortnite funny moments or something, and I don't. I guess you know not not really my cup of tea. I'm in a Discord for YouTubers. It's designed for people to help each other and ask questions like, okay, what, like everything from well, what's your setup to hey, how do I improve my videos kind of thing. And they do it every Sunday night, and I've gotten in on it a little bit, but I usually forget about it, and it's just not the greatest time for me. Um, I can watch the archive streams, but to participate and everything, um, I've submitted videos like like some well, I don't know if I want to call him a big YouTuber, but a more experienced YouTuber, I guess. Um, will kind of will do a review of your videos and stuff, and I've participated, and I always feel I'm the odd man out because I'm like making more well content like this, or my motorcycle restorations or how-to videos, jetting or um, and it's good um, it's good constructive criticism, and I usually get praised on some things like my sound and stuff, and some of the visuals and the presentation. I can be a little dry, which is understandable because the subject matter kind of is. But anyway, but I'm the only one kind of doing that kind of content. I mean, there is a few people that will make like some animations and stuff, and that's really cool. I like to watch that. Because those people are talented. It takes a lot of talent and it takes a lot of time to do some of that animation stuff, where they do their original content. But even that is very rare. Most of it is gaming content, and it's maybe people talking about like a Minecraft mod and stuff. And I understand there's a market for that, um, of course, but it's like um, but it's like when I watch these, it's like about every video is something related to Minecraft or Fortnite. And granted, I'm not the target audience for their type of video, but I can tell it's like, well, I don't know, or I don't have access to other things that I could film. I'm not making a movie, I'm not making like how-to content like I'm doing. But I like to game, so that's what I'm going to do. And again, nothing wrong with it. It's just a lot of it just blends together and is not. I don't want to say it's just. Even if I was into Minecraft, it wouldn't be interesting because while they're all talking about something slightly different, it's still just all you know one note, just showing gameplay or something. I mean, uh, the gaming videos I like to watch are ones where I can, um, if I'm going to watch them, are generally ones where I can. There's a historical or aspect to it, or where you can learn a little something, or maybe a how to do something. And not that these don't do that, but I mean that they have some entertainment value along with their informational value. Like maybe talk about the game engine or something like that. I kind of can geek out on stuff like that. But like I said, a lot of those videos, and so that maybe is why I'm kind of jaded to that game, because it's like in some of these communities that I participate, it's a lot of game content creators, and they're all basically doing the same thing. They're just, I mean, they may or may not use a face cam, but they're just talking while they're playing a game, and it's like, well, there's some personality to it, and when it's just a chill stream or a chill video like what we do, that's one thing. But if I'm going to look at, I want to see something happening, that usually those videos aren't going to provide it. I don't. They usually don't do a good enough job of putting the context in. So again, like I said, I'm not the target demo, and I haven't been up and up on the modern gaming stuff that much. I just catch the higher level kind of journalistic stuff on it, and that's about it, and knowing which game's kind of popular and everything. So yeah, maybe it's been around too long, and it's just getting played out, so people start making fun of it. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to bust out the hairdryer to kind of speed the drying up of some of this stuff. Oh, I forgot to put trim around the other garage door. I can do that. I can do that here in a bit. Let's do that. I don't really want to have to make noise with the hairdryer. I mean, it's going to be like for 30 seconds, but I really don't like to do that. I forgot to do the. I don't know how I forgot that, but that's okay. No, the glue will stick to the paint, but I wished I wouldn't. Wished I hadn't done that yet. So anyway, hey Don over on YouTube. Thanks for joining in. Hopefully you're a subscriber. If you're not, please subscribe. But also, if you're not a subscriber, kind of curious how you found this live stream. Because I try to tag these well for what it is. I can't believe too many people are searching YouTube for scale model building live, model railroading, which not what we're doing, but I tag it that way because it's kind of in that realm. Dioramas. So I'm always curious to find out how people end up getting to my videos. So I'd appreciate it if you'd chime in on that. Okay. Ooh. Alrighty. It's all right. The glue will stick. It'll be fine. Yeah, normally I wouldn't prefer to do what I just did there because then it's sticking to the paint. It's not sticking to the actual wood and bonding to it. So. And Skull, we were texting there a little bit, or well, we were talking on your stream, and then we were texting a little bit. Now I'm gonna forget exactly, but that snow hauling game or whatever, it kind of looks like it's trying to be like Ice Road Truckers in game form, I guess. I was just screwing around looking at what other games are being quote unquote popular games were being streamed over on Mixer, and that one kind of came up. I'd never heard of it. It looks like another one like your farming simulator, I think done by a different developer, but I didn't look too closely into it. But um, I watched maybe a couple minutes of uh, what might have been like a top streamer because they had like 10 or 12 people at the time I just clicked in watching them, and they had a couple thousand followers. But I was like, I'm kind of like, well, what's that game all about? Sequel to Mud Runner. Well, I've never heard of Mud Runner, so you're gonna have to fill me in. I mean, obviously it's a sandbox game. I mean, I get that. It's sandbox slash sim type game. But I guess what are some of the I don't know, missions or jobs or occupations or or what? You know, like Farming Simulator, pretty obvious what you're doing there. What is it deal? Is it literally like a ice road trucker type deal? You're hauling loads or whatever? Because I saw folks that were just had like pickup trucks in the game, and they were just, well, I wouldn't say it didn't just like they were just driving around screwing around, but it was kind of like they were driving off-roading, I guess. But I couldn't really tell if there was some certain goals or objectives they were trying to do within that. Like with your farming simulator, obviously, there's stuff that the game wants you to do. Grow some crops. I know you can just drive around and all that too in that game, but I didn't know what's some of the objectives, I guess. Kind of like Forza Horizon 3 without the races. Okay, so is it just kind of a sim type driving game then? I guess it's about all I can equate it to. It looked pretty cool actually, graphically and stuff. Kind of because you had like different heavy duty like semi trucks and stuff, and of course the pickups and off road and all that. I'm not trying to knock it. I guess I just right off I couldn't figure out what some of the main objectives. The Forza and stuff. It's like, okay, there's racing. A main racing element to it. Sure, you can just drive around. But it's like just like the GTA games, have been sandboxes as far as for the most part. You could just, you just want to drive around in a fictitious city. I get it, So is that what this is? Or is there, quote unquote, its own story mode where there's objectives to complete? I mean, and that what I mean like that, not story mode as in that there's an end necessarily, but there's the objectives that the game would like you to complete. Either I just couldn't figure it out. Is it just hauling loads? I mean, I know there's been since the 80s, truck simulator. I know like Euro Truck Simulator and all that. And I get that. That's like a over the road long haul kind of deal. But that's I couldn't see much more than just a general sim driving game. I mean, I guess you could say sim farming game, but there seems to be like some strategies around, planting this or that and buying and selling and whether you plant this or plant that, till the field this way, that way, fertilize or not fertilize. I don't know. You know what I mean. I just couldn't see where some of that objective stuff in that trucking game really would play in, other than, like I said, you're contracted for different loads and things like that. So is there like the DOT in there and So if you could choose to overload your truck, but if you go the wrong route, there may be DOT and they come and stop you and got to bargain your way out of a ticket or something. I don't know. I'm kind of joking, but is there elements of that kind of thing in there or not? Okay. RIP headphone users. I'm gonna use a hair dryer a little bit here to try and dry this off a little bit, because I want to flip these over and we're gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna put on the other side here. Whoops, I gotta turn it on. And honestly, I'm kind of running a little low on time, but we'll still talk about that. Hopefully you're not getting too much feedback from this. All right. That might be good enough. Here, let's up to that. Okay. Yeah, still a little bit. I might have to make, because I don't want to scratch them up. Actually, I do want to put a second coat on, and which I might do off camera, and I might throw some clear coat on before I do that. But let me show you what we're gonna do the interiors with. I always sometimes rush that step, so anyway, let's see here. I don't know, I kind of mentioned this is a little too wing-a-dinga, but I do have some checkerboard pattern here. Maybe for the floor. Maybe that'll be the floor in the bathroom. This is kind of, I don't know, a little bit of a parchment type design, and I don't know. That could be in the rec room a little bit, but we'll see. And then this is just some other kind of scrapbooking thing, but this is paper for like scrapbooking. I have left over from other things, but thought I had some. There was kind of some striped. Well, this stuff here is really cool. It's hard to see on camera. It's got kind of a wood grain texture to it, and but it's the wood grain's too big. Here we go. I was thinking around in the metalworking area, maybe this. It's a black with black stripes, but I think in here there was actually this in a certain area. It's supposed to look like aspen trees, but cut it down, it would look kind of like some kind of like wood paneling. So that might go in one little area. Aha, here it is. I think I will use this for majority of it, for at least, and then I might put some kind of chair rail molding and maybe a solid color underneath it. So that's kind of the idea I think I've got going here with this. for the interior. This is from the interior walls and whatnot. So, but I wasn't anticipating the paint to need to take this long to dry. This stuff does dry pretty quick, but it needs, it needs a little bit more and time to dry. And then also, I think before I want to do that, I want to shoot these with some clear coat so they're a little bit more durable. Might put a second, definitely will put a second coat of the blue paint on, but I really do like it. So let's see what we got going on here. So it's kind of like, well, I might have this backwards, but gonna, kind of look, look something like, gonna set up and look, something like that. So, or here's the front, and yeah, actually I think that's how I actually have it going. So, little building like that, I think, yeah, that'll look good. But I think that's all I'm gonna do. And you guys are probably wondering why I didn't put the interior trim. Well, I'm going to put the wallpaper, I guess we'll call it, over, and then I'll put that over it. Then I don't have to, because I might. I still am going to use these little sticks here, but I might stain these ahead of time too. So that might be what I do. So so here, you can see me. All right. Well, I thank you guys all for watching. I know maybe wasn't his most exciting stream. These kind of model builds aren't. It's tedious work and there's detail work to do, and it's hard to keep the conversation going. But I appreciate those that are watching and joining in the chat. And I don't know when I'm going to stream next. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. But you'll get the notifications if you're subscribed and you rang the bell. And also, I try to schedule these ahead of time, so hopefully it sort of pushes it out to you if you've been watching these when I go live next. So, all right, subscribe, follow me, check out the website, thejunkmanadv.com, and I got all my projects up there. I'll have pictures of this up there too when it's finished and all the way through. But you guys watching, you already saw most of that. So, appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot. Catch you next time.
White Flower Day sale at Macy's.
This Wednesday and Thursday are White Flower Days at Macy's. For 2 big days, Macy's offers you substantial savings in almost every department. Take advantage of low sale prices on the things you want now during the store-wide White Flower Day sale this Wednesday and Thursday only at Macy's.
White Flower Day sale at Macy's.